From the east to the west, to the land I love the best, the ruling classes them is in a mess.
These programs are the Global Network. This is a program that's over 10 years old, and it brings a number of IFWEA organizations together in Africa, Latin America, Asia and the Middle East. And what they have done over the last 10 years is to work side by side with trade unions and campaign organizations to develop education materials and events for new organizations and existing mainstream organizations which are facing the challenges of the informalization of the economy and all the legislative regulation that is being fought for now, as well as how to organize workers that are not very different from the type of workers that have been organized over many, many decades, as well as what are the new issues and challenges that these workers face and what kind of education can IFWEA members provide to their organizations to enable them to do what they need to do to improve their circumstances. So the Global Network has been doing that very successfully.
In the year 2000 we created the Global Network for Solidar, which has been created in 1948 as International Workers Association, became Solidar in 1995. It was the first significant step after a reduction on the European activities to go out and to reach out and to find partners globally.
Global Network wasn't really another network. It was to assist us to bring workers, organizations that already exist into a network, or to be able to dialogue with each other in a way that they can build their organization, can find joint programs and projects to work on that improve the way they organize and the way they advocate for their campaigns, especially in situations where workers are very vulnerable, to promote the rights of those workers on a local level, regional level and at a global level. And in that way the Global Network really assisted us to build global campaigns, but at a very local level, drawing in workers, teaching them about their rights, but at the same time allowing them to campaign for their rights.
Now, the Study Circles platform is a microcosm, because what we are saying with the Study Circles platform is we need to develop the voices of grassroots members of organizations in strategic development and developing platforms. We cannot take anything for granted, because much that has changed will lead us to not different solutions necessarily, but a change in the way those solutions get voiced and in the way the values get voiced. So we have certain things as the international worker education movement that are tenets of our movement, lessons and methodologies that we have learned over decades and even centuries. The study circle is one of them, participative learning is one of them, participative organization building, building grassroots leaders, sharing in a non-threatening and non-combative way our views and our values. But we have to redesign them through the new worker. And specifically, as we feel here in South Africa, the young woman worker.
This is a project to build a platform for socio-economic equality among grassroots worker leaders, grassroots activists in Cape Town, and doing this through the study circle method, which is a method that has been used to build movements through popular education. And we are trying through this project to develop a number of study circles that look at different aspects of socio-economic inequality and begin to give an active role to workers in terms of how they can begin to counter that at a grassroots level. We're looking at contract work, domestic workers, construction workers, contract cleaners. A lot of workers are now working on contracts and they don't have the rights that other workers have. That is a big challenge that's facing all our trade unions, but society at large, because it means workers are precarious, and life becomes very difficult. So this project assists workers to begin to get involved, for the activism to be directed in a certain way, and for them to hopefully develop new organizational forms, campaigns through this project.
Our organization joined the International Federation of Workers Education Association in 1996, aiming to strengthen our organization capacity in education and skills development, training, by learning from our sister organization to face the main challenge facing the labor class and the trade unions, which is education, knowledge, information, skills development. And because of that, we believe that it's very important to strengthen IFWEA and to keep it sustainable.
We are also fairly clear, just looking at the long-range view of history, that labour movements don't remain weak forever. Workers do rise, and organisations do rise, and we can already see on a global level a shift in sentiment away from corporate dominance and corporate values dominance to the values that we represent. We will prevail on a global level, and this is what we need sustainability for. We are going through the darkest and the worst of times, but we can see even in these worst of times where are the indicators for better times. As always, nothing happens in a movement without educators. If we are going to rebuild the labour movement, if we are going to rebuild global solidarity, if we are going to face an increasingly neo-fascist and xenophobic strain developing in working populations, then we are going to have to hold up international education organizations which contain, like IFWEA does, the wealth of our movement.